do you recommend? Is it worth doing it other than just an appearance sake, or does it have some benefit?
Yeah, so most people think that dye is strictly, you know, for appearance. The main thing with it though is, you know, the reason we use it is it keeps the sun from being able to penetrate the water as well, growing that algae on the bottom, that filamentous that rises to the top and gives you those mats. Y'all's water is really clear, so you know you'd benefit from it. That's the main reason. That's what I was going to tell you is, you know, that's something you can do, especially if y'all were already doing it. I'd go back to doing it.
We were doing blue. Would you go with black? Or was it
sometimes we do a bottle of blue and a bottle of black.
Okay.
It just depends on what it looks like. Pond's what, about an acre?
About 2 acres.
About 2 acres? Yeah. So normally we do a quart per acre, something like that. So you could do 1 bottle of black, 1 bottle of blue. But if you don't get a lot of flow, then it should last, you know, typically we can put 2 quarts in here and it'll last about a month. I don't know what you were getting out of it before.
I was getting longer than that, actually.
Well, you're putting a gallon in it, though.
I was putting a lot in it, that's right.
I'm putting a good bit in it. So, yeah, I mean, right offhand, you've got, you know, some filamentous algae, some soft rush going around it. That stuff's not bad for it. It's good, you know. The algae you definitely want to try to keep off of it. But yeah, that rush right there.
The only thing y'all have done is build that pier right there.
Okay.
Got a suggestion on a...
have you started it before?
No.
Okay. So there ain't nothing in it as far as you know.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, there's stuff in it just naturally in it.
There's plenty in it.
Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. We have a swamp, creek, whatever you want to call it, back here behind us.
Okay.
My dad, we transported a bazillion fish up here.
I got you. What all have you put in it?
Bass and brim mostly.
Okay.
Few speckles.
That would be fun.
But we never caught cat. You know, he used to catch fish and bring them in from other ponds 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. And what do you want to put in it, catfish?
Catfish, and know if grass carp will benefit us any.
Yeah, that helps some. The algae, you know, they're not really going to help too much on it. You know, they may nibble on it, but they're going to eat everything else before. Little fish right there.
We'll walk all the way around it.
Walk around it.
You're talking to us this morning. We've got a big turtle population too, so what do we need to do about that? Or if anything?
Yeah, you can set little turtle traps for them. You know, relocate them if you want to.
Is there a benefit to turtle population?
You know, a couple of turtles here and there ain't bad. You get a couple, you know, at one of our ponds we've got too many turtles and they're sitting there eating fish.
That's what we've got, too many turtles. We've got probably 50.
Yeah, mostly sliders, but we've counted 37 on the shore over there.
Okay.
So if you got 37, I'm sure it's like rats and roaches. You probably have another 100 in the water.
Stout, yeah.
Plus we got some pretty large snapping turtles.
I got you. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. I've got I actually had 200 bass in one of our ponds. We got a big holding cage that we'll keep fish in, you know, before as they're ready to go out for stocking. And just because we can't haul them all at one time, and turtle come up, bit a hole in the bottom of the cage, the netting, and I had 200 bass get out in the pond yesterday. So, you know, there's a good bit of algae as we're walking around it. You know, the good thing is you've got diffused aeration going on. But you definitely want to, this early with the algae being, you know, like that. How bad is it always been like this?
No, it usually will clear up as the weather changes in the spring, and we won't see a lot of it.
Yeah. Except
on the bottom.
I got you. Yeah.
In shallow areas.
Once it gets big enough mats like that, it'll float to the top.
So you know, if we got that much on the surface, we got a boatload underneath.
Well, you know, I mean, if you look, everything underneath there is covered in algae. You know, and some algae is good for the fish. You know, with fiber playing and little bait fish, stuff like that. But with too much of it, the problem is once it dies, now it depletes the oxygen in the pond, which hurts the the rest of the fish.
Right.
So keeping it at a managed rate, before it gets too bad. It's like you see those ponds that are just completely covered all the way across. And it may just be where you've put dye in it in the past, and here lately there ain't no dye in it.
Okay.
That may help solve the problem on it. If not, we can certainly treat it using an algicide to help with it.
What about putting some cover in there for my bait fish, my little fish?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Like cedar trees, or you got any suggestions as far as?
Well, you can put, a lot of people put Christmas trees in it. Christmas trees or cedar trees.
We got cedar trees on the property, so that would be
if it's something that you don't mind continually doing, that's what I would do. If you want to be done, do it one time, be done with it.
Get artificial.
Put artificial in it. Depending on how you want to do it.
We have old drain pipes at this part.
Yeah. You got a good spawning area, over there on that bank, real shallow. You can always put some spawning disc in that, or you can come in and do a gravel bed through there. That'll help those little forage fry bluegill spawn in it. They can kind of swirl those eggs down in there. Other thing you can do is if you do artificial or cedar trees, anything like that, same way you've got your diffusers marked for decoys, do the same thing with your structure.
I hadn't thought about that either.
That's
and
smart.
when you come out here, you'll know right where to cast. So I tell some people,
That's smart.
yeah, some people don't like the decoys, but I say, look,
I like the decoys.
tie a piece of fishing line and put a bobber on it.
That aerator, the diffuser's sitting right on the...
in the deep spot.
No, it's on the shallow.
If there's enough line to do it,
I gotta add some line to it. Where you talking about moving it to?
move it to the deep spot.
Okay.
So diffused aeration, the way it works is it comes up, them bubbles are working up in a cone as they're coming up. So the deeper you have it, the bigger spread, those bubbles are going to spread out
Like
to.
if you look at that one over there versus this one, they're totally different.
But I would take that one right there, maybe add 50 foot of line to it, and get out there to where you're, 8 foot deep.
Well, we added line to that one over there.
We did.
So we can add it to this one.
That's a
you
good
may
suggestion.
get a little bit more better use out of it. It's still working like it is. Any aeration is better than no
That's
aeration.
right. That's exactly right.
But with it being deeper, you're going to get a little bit better cone coming out.
Will the pond dye help with our osprey?
I can't say it'll help with that one, but
That is something else, that guy.
They are something. They're relentless.
And we did have a wood duck nest last year, but she didn't come back this year.
yeah, since you've already got this here, put your predator guard on it. I think that's 3/8 times possible. It might be bigger. The extra line to move the diffuser.
Just regular glossophyte at a different,
For your grass mate?
yeah, grass to knock it down.
Yeah. Typically, we would use a surfactant with it.
Sort of scarcely using surfactant with it because I guess that makes it stick to it. But
Yeah. Bring a ceramic with me.
I probably got one. You want me to go get one?
No, it's fine. Typically when we do water tests, we do dissolved oxygen, alkalinity, hardness. We're doing a lot more parameters, but So if you look right there at the pH on it, you know, you kind of take your best guess, but it's probably between 6.5, 7, somewhere in there. You know, if I had to guess, which is good for it. You know, anywhere between 6.5 and 9 is where we want to see it.
Good.
I didn't bring a DO test, dissolved oxygen test. I knew you guys had an aerator pumping, so if you had low oxygen, I'd tell you put an aerator in it.
Okay.
So I didn't see, you know, didn't see a whole lot of use in it, but pH looks all right. You know, like I said, which is going to change. I don't have a alkalinity and hardness, you know, test with me. Actually, I've got a strip I can try. I would say that. So with the alkalinity and hardness, that's going to kind of control how up and down it goes. You know, your pH swings. You know, whether it swings from a 5 to a 7, or if it swings from a, you know, 6.5 to a
6 1/4.
You know, 6 1/4.
You know, this pond's been here since probably 1960. So.
So adding more fish is okay.
Yeah, you can add fish to it.
And it's okay to add them from the stream down there.
Yeah, you might bring
Not
in
really.
disease or whatever. But
Yeah, the problem with that is, you know, you're obviously risking bringing in parasites or some type of disease.
sort of like the ducks.
So it's best not. It's best now to let the fish that are here multiply.
Yeah, I mean,
What's your
let
recommendation?
them multiply, or, you know, if you have something specific.
Stock it.
You know, obviously grass carp, they're not going to multiply. Yeah, they're sterile.
It's supposed to be sterile.
Right.
Yeah, they're supposed to be sterile. So, you know, those we can obviously stock for you. Catfish, you know, channel catfish are one of those things that don't spawn the best in a pond. You know, that's why whenever you see catfish, you always hear farm raised, you know, catfish, because they're, you know, trying to, you know, fall them that way. So we can certainly, you know, stock them in here like that. The, you know, this, you said 2 acres. So depending on what rate, you know, you kind of wanted to go with, you know, you could do I'd say you could probably put 100 in here and be fine. Something like that. You can go a little bit higher. It's all gonna depend on, you know, how good of a food source they have. Now, if you guys are here all the time and you want to bring a bag of food out here, or set up a, you know, Texas hunter feeder, you know, most of the time, you know, if that's your goal, is to grow those 2 and 3 pound catfish to come out here and just enjoy catching, I'd say put you a solar feeder over there and let it rip.
So we got solar feeders for the deer.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
We looked at it, but we didn't.
Would you mount it on the pier? Would you mount it, just set it up on the shore somewhere?
Either one.
Because we've got a lot of other hungry animals that love to eat. So
Yeah.
I guess my question would be, are they going to tear it up on the shoreline?
I'd really not like to take up space on that dock.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is I don't know if I would want to take up my space.
Because it's already small.
You know, which they don't take up a whole lot of space. You know, you could mount one in the corner over here. Well, I mean, it's going to come on 4 legs just like your deer feeder. You know, so I'm saying, don't they make you attach it to a post? Yeah, you can attach it to a post. Set it right here, so it's going to go about right here. Or you can put it,
We put it on the shore.
you can put it right down on the shore. It's gonna cast it out there. Perfect spawning area. I mean, you kind of have everything in the pond. You know, you kind of got your deep valley over here where you're gonna have that cooler water. You know, putting that aerator in there is gonna help de-stratify those layers, especially in the summertime. You know, you got a good spawning area. You got some good, you know, small vegetation around. If you're going to get rid of that, I would say, you know, let's look at putting some, you know, some cedar trees or something in here for structure. I like the artificial structure. You know, typically with those, we'll take two or three of them together, kind of bunch them together to have those sticks just all intermingling. You know, if you don't want to do it that way and you want to, you know, if you're a big DIYer and you want to make your own, you get a 55-gallon drum. You can drill holes in the side of it, and you can push PEX pipe or something like that all through it. You know, and that's going to give them, turn it on its side, let it sink, and that's going to give them something to go up in. You know, you can do it a whole lot of different ways. I mean, it's no different than your pipes that are out there that, you know, I mean, I guarantee you that's good fish structure right here. The other thing is, you know, just keep an eye on your numbers. So, you know, I'll give you a relative weight index, but especially your bass. You know, we've got our, you know, our minnows, our bluegill, our red ear, and then our bass. Well, our bass are our predatory fish. Well, we're the predators for the bass. Yeah. So if we don't, you know, manage them and pull them out, then they get overstocked. And that's why when you come out here and you catch those little 12-inch bass, and they never get bigger.
And that's our problem right now. That is our problem.
Is to start pulling those out. And that way you're freeing up some forage for, you know, the ones that are growing. And I'll give you a relative weight index chart. What you'll do is you'll pull that, you'll catch your fish, you'll measure them out, you'll weigh them, and then you'll look on that chart for how long he is, and then go over to his weight index, and that'll tell you whether he's 85%, 90%, 95%, 100%. You know, if he's below 85%, they can, you know, cull him. You know, now if he pops up on there and he's 110%, put him back in that juggle. I've seen a couple of small little minnows, but it wouldn't hurt when you're doing your stocking, you know, if we're going to bring catfish and grass carp up here, you know, to do a supplemental forage stocking with, you know, 2 to 3 inch bluegill and fathead minnows.
They're all under the algae is where they are.
Yeah, if I put that minnow bucket down in there, they'll be in it in a jiffy.
They'll be all in it. See, little minnows.
Plenty of them just got good hiding spots. That's why I said, you know, some of that algae ain't bad for it. This little grass mix that's up here,